Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Ashbrook, and it has been an honor and pleasure to serve as head of the upper school at Wichita Collegiate for the last 13 years. On behalf of Headmaster Nathan Washer, the Collegiate Board of Trustees, and the faculty and staff at Wichita Collegiate School, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this commencement ceremony for the class of 2021. This last year and a half has been challenging. There has been uncertainty, caution, fear, and even more uncertainty. Despite these trying times, the class of 2021 and Wichita Collegiate have remained constant in their efforts to maintain normalcy. We have learned together, played together, competed together, and celebrated together. We have accomplished what very few schools around the world have been able to do. We have been in person, and we have proceeded as normally as circumstances would allow us. This is no small task, and it wouldn't have been possible without the exceptional efforts of faculty, students, and families. Please take a moment to help me celebrate all of you on what has been a truly remarkable year. To the family members and parents of the class of 2021, I would like to offer a sincere thank you. Thank you for your patience, for your flexibility, and your support. Thank you for entrusting us with your child's education. We love your kids, and like you, we are incredibly proud of what they have achieved. To the faculty who are here with us this morning and to those who couldn't be with us, thank you for your excellence, your commitment to the school, your passion for your craft, and your love for our students. You make Wichita Collegiate the remarkable school that it is. I share these sentiments every year, and they are true every year. But it should be noted that in this year of the COVID pandemic, you have gone above and beyond on a daily basis, and it has been both recognized and appreciated. It wouldn't be right to have a commencement ceremony without thanking one exceptional person who does so much to make this day special. She wants this day to be perfect for the seniors and their families, and she works tirelessly to make it so. Please help me thank the always humble, truly exceptional, and our next head of upper school, Gabby White. And now to the seniors sitting beside me. I want to offer you both congratulations and thanks. Whenever you joined our collegiate family, you have contributed to our school with your hearts, your minds, and your talents. You have proved yourselves worthy, and you have represented yourselves, your families, and the school honorably. I have enjoyed the time I've been able to spend with you and could not be more proud of each and every one of you. Thank you, class of 2021. I've learned a lot from you and hope that you will look back on your time at Collegiate fondly and that you might carry on the ideals that guide us in the upper school, work hard, communicate, and be good to one another. I know I've said this to you before, but class of 2021, this year would not have been the success it is without your leadership. You have looked for the good in every situation and made the most of every opportunity. You chose to focus on the positive and not dwell on the negative. For that, I say thank you once again. You have my most sincere gratitude and respect. At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Jeff May to come forward and deliver our invocation.
Thank you, Chris. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. What a day. What a very special day. We're gathered here to recognize and honor our graduating seniors, class of 2021. 2021. Students have had to work hard to get to this point. I don't think I have to tell you that, but as Chris mentioned, the last year and a half have put extra burdens upon your high school experience. Events have been canceled, they've been altered, classes have been changed, you had to develop new learning techniques, and basically it's been harder. But through it all, you persevered and you overcame the obstacles, and here you are on the threshold of graduation. And maybe, just maybe, all of this made you a little bit stronger. I was reminded at the video the other day, watching the students as they were much younger, it was actually kind of fun, that many of us have been with Collegiate for a long time. We are part of the Collegiate family. I know my daughter Allie and her sister are Collegiate lifers, starting in great beginning or early childhood. And we've been associated with the school for about 20 years now, and we've enjoyed the ride. Today is about the students, but I would like to give a shout out to some important folks that have participated in your development. First and foremost are the faculty and staff of Collegiate who have provided you an outstanding education and giving you the tools to move forward. We've also had opportunity for extracurricular activities, clubs and organizations and sports and music and theater and dance and cheer, all of which have helped to define who you are. The key part of that is that these folks care about you. And so down the road when you're around and you happen to see a familiar face, please go up and say hi and say thank you. And lastly, to the parents, can't forget you folks. I also can't begin to define what you mean to your students and what your students mean to you. It's obvious. However, if I had to use a single word, I think I would say pretty much everything. Also, I would like to include, from a parental standpoint, the word love. It's a large umbrella under which parents decide and govern what they do for their children. And so, you students should recognize that you may be the first out of the nest, you may be the last out of the nest, or somewhere in between, but recognize when you go, home is going to be different, and your parents have to change and adapt. And that's not a bad thing. That's a consequence of what we want for you. But it is what it is. So my hope is that when festivities are over today, you find your parents and give them great big hugs and tell them how much you love them. Please join me in a moment of prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here today and to recognize and honor these young, great women and children. Please bestow your blessings upon all of those who have helped and guided the children as they have moved through the system. And for the students, please continue to be with them and guide them as they continue to develop who they are and who they will become. We thank you for all of your blessings. In your name we pray. Amen.
It is a long walk from the back. Appreciate your patience. My name is Doug Coe, and I am the outgoing president of the Alumni Board. And I've got two job duties this morning. The first one is to present this check right here. It's the largest check the Alumni Association has ever been able to present at a graduation ceremony at Collegiate. $216,000, $815. This right here, thank you. This right here was donated through the work of the Alumni Association to support current and future campus improvement projects, educational opportunities, and importantly, the areas that Collegiate needs the money the most. So, to Mr. Washer, we present the check.
Thank you.
And then my second duty is to present the Randy Storms Alumni Service Award. This award is given every year to the member of the alumni community that has distinguished himself or herself as an incredibly important volunteer, financial contributor, and a member that's making Collegiate better. This year we're presenting to Matt Maloney, who has been on the alumni board for more years than he can remember. He has been a mentor through the Seniors Mentor Day, more years than he's not. He's shepherded many students interested in a career in the law. He was also recently on the committee leading the Spartan Bash, contributing to the incredible fundraising year that occurred this year. So, to Matt Maloney, thank you very much for your distinguished service to the community.
Welcome. Thank you, Doug. And briefly, I will say, when I was walking up here with Doug for a little bit, I thought that maybe that oversized golf check was going to me as part of this alumni award, but I think it's going to a better cause. I'm not going to speak long because I don't want these seniors to have to wait any longer to get up here and celebrate, but I just want to tell you what an honor it is to be selected to receive this award that is named after one of Collegiate's greatest alumni. When Lisa Schooler told me that I had been selected as this year's recipient, my initial thought was that I was in no way deserving of this award, and that feeling was only confirmed as I read through the list of prior recipients. There are a lot of great alumni that do a lot of great work for this school, and I'm honored to do whatever small part I can. I was fortunate to attend this school for 14 years and received so much from it. And so giving back in any way that I can with my time is an easy decision for me. And I trust that years from now that the seniors that are graduating today will feel the same way. So thank you very much, and congratulations to the seniors, and good luck in your future.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Isabel Schmaltz, and this past year, I have had the privilege of serving as student body president. On behalf of the class of 2021, welcome to our graduation ceremony. We are so grateful to have you all here to celebrate with us. Though this year has been unconventional, I am so proud of all that we have accomplished. 4 years ago, I sat down to write a speech for our 8th grade recognition. The theme was kindness. And for the life of me, I could not figure out what to write. I thought about the petty drama and trademark middle school negativity that had become all too familiar. But as I sat on that stage at the ceremony, I listened to my classmates' recollections of small acts of kindness that they experienced, how someone would always hold the door for them, how friends would stay behind and wait until you tied your shoes, how much one smile could brighten their day. I was reminded of the birthday posters and sticky notes with encouraging messages that classmates had placed on our lockers. And I realized something. I had witnessed and received an abundance of kindness. I just had to be brave enough to see it. Over the past 4 years, I vowed to take notice of these seemingly insignificant displays of benevolence. I remember when Josh Mallard dropped everything he was doing to help me set up for the blood drive when I forgot to recruit enough volunteers. I'm reminded of when a classmate was in the hospital and the whole grade came together to send him well wishes. When the DIY t-shirt bags that I was collecting for the Family Crisis Center were in desperate need of improvements, Miss St. Clair and her students stepped up to help. Choosing to perceive these moments taught me to actively search for the good in those around me. While the goodness in others does not erase the difficulties we face, it can inspire us to overcome them. Furthermore, these expressions of kindness are reflected in the greater notion of justice. Movements designed to engender equality and inclusivity rest on a foundation of decency and empathy. Just as there is always evil and hatred in the world, there exists a constant presence of kindness and love. This truism constitutes the basis of one of the most important facets of our society, hope. Possessing the willingness to see good in other people and the staunch commitment to helping each other is the only way to overcome the existential crises we face today. This past year sparked an awakening that exposed cracks in the foundation of our society, but choosing to see the good in others fosters hope that can help us build toward a solution. As we stand on the precipice of the next chapter of our lives, it is incumbent upon us to take action in this way and to be the agents of change that I know we can be. Nothing will change if we move through life standing still, waiting for somebody else to fix what we know to be broken. I don't mean to suggest that finding the silver lining will magically solve everyone's problems, but recognizing someone or some idea's potential is certainly a good start. So take action in your communities, reach out across divides, find common ground, find the good in others, and above all, be kind. I would now like to take this time to deliver a few thank yous. To my family, both by blood and by affection, I would not be who I am without you all. Your compassion, intelligence, and generosity inspire me every single day. I'm exceedingly proud to be related to you. Thank you for all that you do, and I love you dearly. To my teachers, I still remember when Mrs. Enns made me hold her pet tarantula when I was little, and while I am still completely freaked out by spiders, I find myself more willing to learn and try new things because of her guidance. For it is not the content of the class that stays with us after we graduate today, sorry teachers, but rather the life lessons that we have learned throughout our journey. I will soon forget the dreaded Throwback Thursday quizzes in AP Chemistry, but I will always remember how Mrs. Harris challenged us to persevere when faced with a difficult problem. I may eventually forget the words to Breathe There Man, although I'm told it may take a while, but I will never forget how we were taught to question what constitutes a good life, and emboldened to seek one for ourselves. Teachers, thank you for preparing us for the next phase of our education, both as students and as people. And finally, to the class of 2021. I recently asked Mr. Michael if he could reflect on this past year and determine a quality that defined our class. His response was that we possessed a unique amount of grace. Through all the disappointments, postponements, and uncertainties of our senior year, we maintained an overall constructive and considerate attitude. I believe that this characteristic will serve us well as we encounter new challenges in both our academic and personal pursuits. I truly cannot wait to see the amazing people you all become. Thank you for being wonderful classmates, lab partners, captains, study buddies, leaders, and most importantly, friends. I will leave you with one of my favorite quotes by Stephen Hawking. Be curious, and however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up. Unleash your imagination. Shape the future. Congratulations, class of 2021. Thank you.
That was great, Isabel. I don't have as many big words in my speech. My name is Jenny Chugg, mom to Cameron, Sarah, and Jacob. We've been a part of the collegiate community for 16 plus years and have had countless memorable experiences over this time. So many funny, heartwarming and happy experiences that make me smile because of you. I will never be able to hear KC and the Sunshine Band's Boogie Shoes and not think of collegiate home basketball games. Some of our other favorites are Coach Black singing into his headset during weights, Read and Romp, Haunted Hallways, USO dances, Mom's Day, Dad's Day, Mr. Davis handshakes, the witty, funny student sections at games, the dance team and cheerleader performances, plays, musicals, Alexa and the Donuts, the drumline, madrigals singing anything at all, Justin Heibarger's hype announcements about the upcoming Avengers movies, sporting events, thousands and thousands of costumes, prom red carpets, heifer trips, DC trip, Dallas trip, mission to Mars, and so many more. Since I was invited to speak, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on our time here. Reflecting on so many people we have come to know and love. There are people who enter our lives and for some reason they stand out to us. They become very significant in who we become. It is impossible to share all the meaningful experiences we have had in just a few minutes, so I will share some of the experiences that have meant the most. Mrs. Burcham was Sarah and Jacob's pre-K teacher. She is one of my favorite human beings. I loved her relationship with her students and parents. I knew she cared about these children and their families. She gave us great advice about our time here at Collegiate. One bit of this advice was, no matter what, have your children participate in the talent show every year. It doesn't matter what they do, just do something. Endless renditions of Ode to Joy, jokes, Lego building, dances, singing, magic tricks, and one of my favorites, Clay Gagnon dressed head to toe in camo demonstrating his duck call. Priceless. Fiddler on the Roof was one of the first freshman dinner theater musicals we attended. Mrs. Burcham's son Bailey played the lead, and he was amazing. Because of this advice, Sarah sang in many talent shows, on the playground, and even performed in a couple of musicals. One of her favorite experiences was participating in High School Musical. The role as Sharpay was so fun. As a mom, seeing your children do something they love is the greatest reward. A couple of weeks ago, I received a message from Candace Bargava, who was filling in for our school nurse. She was visiting Mrs. Burcham's class, and on this particular day, Candace shared with me that Mrs. Burcham pulled her aside and shared that she still had multiple pictures that Jacob had drawn for her. They were hanging right next to her desk. Mrs. Burcham teared up talking about him. A few years ago, she messaged me on Facebook and sent me images of these drawings. She said how good she thought they were for a 4-year-old and hoped he was still drawing. I loved how much she cared about him and Sarah and could see their potential. William James said, "Act as if what you do makes a difference." It does. Mrs. Burcham makes a difference. I asked my family about their favorite collegiate memories. Cameron quickly responded with his greatest memories, always including the wonderful people of the collegiate family. I would agree. He continued to share an experience at the end of his senior year. 2015 senior trip was in Dallas, and its schedule overlapped with state baseball and golf. Cameron, who golfed, and Trevor Flamini, who played baseball, would only be able to go if a member of the faculty drove them back to Wichita early for their events. So Chris Ashbrook drove them back. Cameron shared, what happened on that ride is what he remembers most. He said, we spent the entire car ride talking about the things we would do following graduation. Everything from spending 2 years in Italy to majors we were interested in for college. This experience perfectly demonstrates what makes Collegiate a special place. Not only does the faculty go out of their way for students, but they have a genuine interest in what happens in their lives. Collegiate is a special place because of the people who are here. One of my favorite collegiate traditions is homecoming picnic buddy day. Jacob's most memorable picnic buddy was when he was in first grade, Brandon Cyril. He was his buddy. He was in high school and on the football team, and so cool. Jacob had a great day with him. A few weeks after homecoming, Jacob received a framed picture of the two of them with one of Brandon's football pictures. This was so unexpected and something that made Jacob feel special. A small act of kindness that can have a big impact. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. We have appreciated all of the safety measures that Collegiate has taken in the last few years to help our children be safe, including locked campus gates, entrance door security, and technology safety. I would like to think that I had an impact on the safety of our school. Several years ago, I was involved in Collegiate Association of Parents, and every year we loved hosting the Teacher Appreciation Lunch. So this Cinco de Mayo celebration would not be complete without tacos and limeade. I was storing said limeade in the freezer in the upper school kitchen. I drove across campus to pick it up for lunch, and I loaded up the cart in the walk-in freezer and locked myself in. The freezer was way back away from the kitchen, past Randy's office, so they couldn't hear me knocking. I don't recall how long I knocked. It felt like forever, but I survived. Soon after that, they installed a safety lock named after me. So anytime I went to borrow anything from the kitchen and make any requests and identify myself by name, they would remind me, hey, you're the one who got locked in the freezer. You never know what legacy you will leave. Embrace it. Maybe bring a jacket. My entire family has a tremendous amount of respect and love for Coach Fiegel. My boys started in summer camps as soon as they were old enough. Between the two of them, we have enough shirts for at least one giant quilt. Coach is passionate about basketball, the dirty work, good quotes, good jokes, and fishing. But more than coaching basketball, he has taught my family, and especially my boys, life lessons. Lessons about being on time, prioritizing academics, communication on and off the court, being a good teammate, fulfilling your role in the best way you can, even if it's not the showy stuff, discipline, and how to work. We appreciated his high expectations of our children and all the life lessons learned. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Thanks, Coach Fiegel. Sarah had a great experience in Senora White's class. Sarah appreciated her honesty, kindness, and direct approach in her teaching. This is what Sarah needed. It was motivating to her and helped her feel accountable. She respected Mrs. White and wanted to perform well because of the encouragement and confidence Mrs. White instilled in her. Thank you, Senora White. What you do makes a difference. Thank you to the collegiate community. You've made our last 16 years special. We are so grateful to know you. Thank you for making a difference in our lives. Seniors, you are all so great. You'll be successful in whatever you do, I have no doubt. My advice to you is act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Congratulations, graduates. Well done.
Good morning. My name is Mark Harani, and I'm the president of the class of 2021. Thank you to everyone who was able to make it here today, including George Bunting. I know that many have traveled very far distances to make this very special day. Through my 15 years at the school, Collegiate has provided my classmates and I with many opportunities, great education, important life lessons, everlasting relationships, and countless memories. Memories that date back all the way to early childhood and end on this day today. What is significant is that it doesn't matter when you started at Collegiate. Each of us has deep and lasting memories with one another that we will cherish forever. There are certain memories that I will never forget, such as fighting with Lucy Cox over who would push Jacob Chugg's wheelchair after he broke his leg in kindergarten, or Green Eggs and Ham Day, or the Adventures of Rock Springs trip in the 4th grade, especially the presence of mice in our cabin, or the very special memories of Picnic Buddy Day every single year, or all of the silly middle school relationships we had, including when Emily Dam rejected me because she was too young to have a boyfriend and started dating Nate Vogelai the following week. Or the intimidating nature of Mrs. Dunleavy in the hallways, up until we actually had her as a teacher. Or when Coach Hawley sat back in his chair and it snapped, and all the laughter that followed as he fell to the floor. Or the Washington, D.C. trip, when everyone had to evacuate the swimming pool after Charlie threw George onto my face, injuring me, and my blood tainted the pool. And the awesome Rangers-Astros baseball game on the Dallas trip, or the amazing learning experience provided to us during the Heifer Project in 8th grade. As we moved to the upper school, we were individually given the charge by Mr. Ashbrook as freshmen to be responsible young men and women and prove ourselves worthy. I believe we have largely lived up to that expectation. Along the way, we have had many amazing successes, and we have had some failures that provided learning opportunities as well. The lasting memories continued throughout our time in the upper school. Clay Gagnon running down the bleachers and face planting, Mr. Ashbrook getting wet and soapy in suit and tie on senior slide day, and the less than a handful of bad snaps I had playing center in football that you all remember, while not remembering the hundreds of perfect snaps I had. Proud memories include the many sports and activities and the multitude of state championships. We created these achievements together, supporting each other on stage, on the court, on the field, and in the classrooms. And we celebrated at senior formal and homecoming weeks. Collegiate has gifted us with memories that we will never forget. It has been a tradition for years that the graduating class of seniors at Wichita Collegiate School presents the school with a senior gift. Since Collegiate has given us so much in knowledge, love, and memories, it is time that our class gives back to the school that helped shape us to be who we are today. Mr. Washer, Mr. Ashbrook, the class of 2021 senior gift to the school is an $11,000 seed money for the improvement of the amphitheater. However and whenever the school decides to proceed with such a project. The use of the amphitheater has been remarkable to us, especially during the last 2 years, as it was used for many important events, including back-to-school assemblies, homecoming court shenanigans, senior class banquets, and many other events. While I have the microphone, on behalf of my classmates, I would like to wish Mr. Ashbrook and Ms. Gabby White best of luck in their new roles at the school. I would also like to thank Mr. Watcher, the Collegiate Board of Trustees, including my father, and all the faculty and staff. We truly appreciate the hard work, dedication, love, and support you have put forth to advance our education, especially this year during the pandemic, for keeping the school safely open with an almost normal atmosphere while most other schools around the nation and the world were closed. I would also like to expressly thank our parents for their absolute love, wisdom, generosity, and most of all, sacrifice, for giving us the opportunity to attend this great school and for supporting us along the way. To our entire collegiate community, as we move forward with our endeavors near and far, we shall never forget you. We shall always remember who we are and where we came from. Thank you.
silver moon is shining high above the trees. If I had sung to listen once or twice, if I had closed my mouth and opened my eyes, if I had cooled my head and warmed my heart, I'd not be on this road tonight. Carry on, never mind feeling sorry for yourself. It doesn't save you from your troubled mind. Walk down that lonesome road all by yourself. Don't turn your head back over your shoulder, and only stop to rest yourself when the silver moon is shining high above the trees.
Well, this is going to be easy after that, right? Good morning. My name is Richard Swan. Thank you for the opportunity and honor I've been given of sharing this time with you on behalf of the parents and seniors here. Congratulations to the class of 2021 and to your parents and families and friends who have been with you on your journey to this point. Thank you to the current and former leadership and staff of Collegiate who have given our children and us as parents such a wonderful experience. There are many attributes that Collegiate seeks to instill in its students, of which some are resiliency, compassion, determination, and willingness to experiment, fail, and try again. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." How is that relevant to today's ceremony and your futures? From my perspective at least, it is the need for courage as you move forward into the next phase of your lives. It's an incredibly exciting time for you all, whatever you are doing next. It will be significantly different from your life to date, and it will bring with it excitement, trepidation, mistakes, and incredible opportunities. I'm sure you will all have plans, whether it's for parties after this ceremony. Please, no more parties. Summer jobs, or where you plan to go for the next stage of your education. But things will happen along the way that will affect those plans. You will need to demonstrate the courage to embrace those failures and find the strength to continue. The courage to adjust your plans accordingly as circumstances and events influence your path. But you are not alone in that. You have your family and friends and fellow graduates, the people sitting around you today who love and care about you. They are there to help you through these difficult moments and to find that strength. Have the courage to lean on them. The people who have helped you on your journey so far. The temptation may be, if you're going off to college, to believe, I've got this. But I encourage you to seek input and advice from others. There is always someone, a mother, a father, friend, former classmate, former teacher, who will be willing to help you in your decision making. And I can certainly vouch for the fact that even at the ripe old age of 55, the decisions I make, the plans I adjust, the way I learn from my failures are better, easier, less painful when I have the courage to ask for input and help from others. My wife Nikki, my daughter Katie, my family, friends, my colleagues at Coke, and increasingly my son Luke, your fellow graduate today. By the way, all the great traits he has, he takes after his mother, so there's that. In the portrait of a Spartan, it says, we lean on and support each other. We challenge each other to be better. Carry those attributes beyond these walls to the new communities of which you will soon be a part. Have the courage to show the character that your times at Collegiate has nurtured, and show what being a Spartan means to the rest of the world over the coming weeks, months, and years. And as you head out to embrace your plans and journeys into the future, make sure you savor every moment, every opportunity. That famous philosopher, Ferris Bueller, said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Take the time to recognize and drink in the amazing moments you will experience, like your graduation today and this ceremony. Finally, and for one last time, not for football, basketball, or for tennis, but for your futures, the fantastic differences you are all going to make in the world, the people you are going to positively influence beyond these collegiate walls, I just want to say, let's go Spartans!
All right, just checking this little microphone here, just making sure it works. So anyway, hey everyone, it's Saba, which you hopefully know by now, but if not, I'm the class of 2021 salutatorian, which is a lot harder to pronounce, so I kind of practiced that in preparation. But I've thought about this speech for about 8 years, pretty much as long as I could think about. I wanted to give this profound and incredible speech that, kind of shook everyone to their core a little bit, which, a little unrealistic and grandiose in respect, but then again, I do love the flair for the dramatic. But I would dream about what I would say, and then when the news came that I was salutatorian, I honestly couldn't find the words what I would write about this long-awaited speech. So I, in true fashion, procrastinated to the last possible second, and in fact I did write this speech at 2 a.m. last night in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, so on the notes app on my phone, so there's that. And so I did use work as an excuse why I procrastinated, but then again, what was I doing before 2 p.m.? But anyways, so the reason why I began with this anecdote is that this behavior may sound a bit out of the ordinary of what you might think as a salutatorian. But that in fact introduces my theme of today, embracing and appreciating the complexity of humanity, which is one of the biggest lessons I've learned at Collegiate, is just learning that we are much more than what we seem. So many, including myself, at one point just kind of saw myself as just the basic, model student. Everything was to confirm the verity of these, 2 little words. And high school kind of has that effect, whether at Collegiate or wherever, is that we try to put ourselves in these neat little boxes, simple and static, so that, we don't, stir anything. So you might be like the jock, the delinquent, the rebel, the pretty girl, the nerd. And yes, that was a Breakfast Club reference, so there's that. So we live the best we can to fit into these rudimentary labels, so we can fit in with our friends and peers, have a role in the social hierarchy. And so I myself did. So I studied like crazy, did all of that, overly raising my hand, just a little bit always after class, just the kind of regular expectations of what a model student would do. But that honestly kind of trapped me. I didn't realize that it's a little bit difficult to live in a two-dimensional being. You didn't see the nuance in myself and others in the world. I kind of just saw, oh god, my hat is falling. Anyways, I didn't really see the nuance in everything was either good or bad, people were good or bad, but the world is a lot more complicated than that, which honestly I confronted a lot in, okay, my hat is like fully falling off now, so there's that. Okay, well, the wind. Sorry about this, guys. Anyways, where was I? So yeah, that's what I actually learned a lot in humanities. The good life kind of does that to you, kind of confronts your inner demons, kind of relate how everything is a lot more complicated than, what we might think. To me, the world has become not black or white and simple. It's hard, it's messy, it's complicated. It's this kind of beautiful, chaotic complexity that is a lot better than some non-existent cliche, which I feel like many of us have just boxed ourselves into. So, but the thing is high school is over. And collegiate is, good in part, the whole idea of the bubble that kind of shrouds us from how messy the world is. Well, I'll fix that later. Anyways, it helps us, it kind of shields us from how kind of messy and complicated the world is. But, as we're growing up, we're realizing that, going beyond these labels, going beyond these just simple descriptions of ourselves, and that we're just dynamic forces of nature who change all the time. We change how we think, how we talk, learn, dress, and we should normalize moving beyond that limited range of the human experience that such labels surrender us to. So please join me in realizing your worth beyond just awards, titles, compliments, but your willingness to grow, change, adapt, and see the world as complex, even if it makes things a little bit more complicated, but all the more better. So congratulations, class of 2021, and sorry for all that hat drama, but there's my speech, so.
Okay. Windy day today. Initially, I wasn't planning to give a speech and just have a short blurb that said, "Your valedictorian sponsored there to be no speech here. Everyone get your diplomas and go home." But because of some flattering requests from a few of my classmates like Connor, Sarah, and Noah on how much I should give a speech, looks like you're all stuck with me now. I want to first thank a few of my teachers that I've had over the past 4 years. Firstly, Mr. DeFries for being a great Scholars Bowl coach and encouraging my efforts to study for it outside of practice, and also for laying off on the lit assignments and quizzes, especially last semester of a hectic senior year. I also want to thank Mr. Reuter, who I've had for 3 years, including in multiple physics class and multivariable calculus this year, for his contagious zeal for math and memorable jingles for physics formulas. Most of all, his proofs and lectures are always interesting and insightful, and actually help me wake up in the morning or keep me from falling asleep by being a refreshing end to the school day. And there's countless other teachers I've had throughout my career as a student that I also want to thank, but might not specifically mention. Finally, not a teacher here, but I also wanted to mention the YouTube channel Joe's Productions, which helped me survive APUSH, my first hard AP class. And I want to echo Saba's sentiment. Over the years, I didn't really feel like I fit into Collegiate because it's culturally different from what I'm used to. So it's been a challenging but mostly positive experience. And a bit about my background: my single mother raised my younger sister and I alone and makes less annually than the tuition here, so I'm lucky to have gotten an opportunity to receive a high caliber of education and a chance to speak up here. Which brings me to a quote I'd like to share. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. And that's from Mewtwo from the first Pokemon movie. However, I disagree that one's circumstances and environment are irrelevant. Though I've become someone who values being independent and self-reliant, ironically, that was in part influenced by the background I grew up in. If you take a look around at the larger community or pay attention to statistics, you'll notice that endemic social inequalities and differences exist in a lot of places, and many due to uncontrollable factors. Nevertheless, I think this statement conveys solid advice to take initiative and the importance and power of actions before anything else. What is essential to defining you as a person is what you do in response to the hurdles you face, not the hurdles themselves. This concept is known as the locus of control, which some of my peers might remember from psych class. An internal locus of control is a belief that you have more control over the events in your life, while an external locus of control is the opposite. The belief that luck or uncontrollable factors primarily dictate events. As usual, I think the most practical answer is in the middle. You should rush at the trials of life with the determination and motivation of someone with an internal locus of control, but still keep in mind the fickleness of chance and to prepare yourself when things go wrong. Because after all, it is a harsh truth that you can do everything right and still fail. Who knows, a misfortune might somehow become a good thing, and it's crucial not to jump to conclusions. An example of this is the famous Chinese proverb of Sai Wang lost his horse, which I wanted to include, but would have made the speech too long, so you can look it up in your free time if you're interested. In this way, you can improve from your failures to increase your personal scope of control without wallowing in self-guilt over something outside of your control. Of course, I'm just an 18-year-old and relatively inexperienced, so I'm nearly certain I'll be a much different person a decade or so down the line, as will many of you. Even if you don't think so, something I've heard to put it into perspective is to consider yourself from 10 years ago and think about how much you've changed in the past to give you an estimate of how much you might change in the future. I think change should be embraced as long as you stick with what you think is right, be a decent person, and try not to care too much about what others think of you. And finally, this brings me to my philosophy and parting piece of advice. The meaning of life is to do whatever keeps you from killing yourself. This might be a rather morbid way to phrase it, I know, and a truism that's not too useful when life is good. However, especially in difficult times, which of course many have been facing recently, it's an important reminder of what's essential, whether that be a devotion to loved ones, a faith, a meaningful hobby or job, or my favorite, enjoying the simple pleasures like eating cake or touching grass. Thank you.
Let me put that on underneath you. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start the high point of this celebration. As each graduate's name is called, they will cross the stage, receive their diploma, come off the stage, pick up a rose, and then come to where their parent is sitting to share their rose and have a picture taken with you. It is now my honor to say to Mr. Hirani and members of the Board of Trustees that I am honored to confirm that the students receiving diplomas today have met all the requirements for graduation from Wichita Collegiate School. Front row, you may rise. And now our first graduate, Saba Ahmed, summa cum laude. Saba in her hat. You're perfect. Aya Al-Tabal, summa cum laude. Phoebe Caroline Babst, summa cum laude. Aiden Elizabeth Bargava, magna cum laude. Oh, you left me hanging. Sophia Marie Brake. George Christopher Bunting, cum laude. Zachary Lewis Burgess. Abigail Patricia Grace Carpenter. Rithika Chari, cum laude. Sarah Flora Chacron, summa cum laude. Jacob Brett Chug, cum laude. Blake Michael Clay, cum laude. Lucy Barbara Cox. Gwyneth Pearl Cunningham, summa cum laude. Addison O'Neill Dart, magna cum laude. John Ross DeVore, magna cum laude. Alexandria Marie Do Orozco. Michael Elijah Fair, summa cum laude. Omar Farhood, magna cum laude. Talia Flamini, cum laude. Clay Alexander Gagnon. Tara J. Glass, magna cum laude. Charles Thomas Gorey. Okay, we've got a good shot of this on. Okay. Skylar Catherine Haig.
Thank you.
Switch it back.
Jacob George Hansen. Hannah Ray Rebecca Rose Hecox. Paige Michelle Henry, magna cum laude. John Wesley Herman. Nicholas James Herman.
Okay. Congrats.
Mark Basil Harani.
So you're gonna have to pull double duty on this one. Yeah.
Leah Lorraine Issa, magna cum laude. Ely Christine Johnson, magna cum laude. Celine Khalife, summa cum laude.
Very proud of you.
Junhak Kim, cum laude. Faith Brady Kotkin, summa cum laude. Hunjin Stephanie Lee, magna cum laude. Second row. Sorry. Min-Soo Lee. Madeline Jo Mayers, cum laude. Joshua Ryan Mallard. Finn Joseph Marino. Caitlin Bassam Matar, magna cum laude. Allie Elaine May. Sydney Ann Miller, magna cum laude.
You got it.
Ian Nazee Mufarij, summa cum laude. Noah Nazee Mufarij, summa cum laude. Sonia Ann Murphy, magna cum laude. Aaliyah Shiko Muthoni, magna cum laude. Ann Now T. Nguyen, cum laude. Tien Hung Nguyen, magna cum laude. Philip James Pfeiffer, magna cum laude. Ethan John Pham, cum laude. Lindsay Ann Post, cum laude. Haroon Syed Rafi, summa cum laude. Grant Miles Ramsey, cum laude. Finnegan Michael Ross. Isabel Martha Schmaltz, summa cum laude.
Thank you.
Jad Shaheen, cum laude. Luke David Wilfred Swan, magna cum laude. Connor Noah Sweetman, summa cum laude. Jackson Ross Taylor. Allison Shin T, summa cum laude.
Great speech.
Emma Elizabeth Truxell, magna cum laude. Kobe DeAndre Turner. Elizabeth Reagan Varenhorst, cum laude. Alessandra Tosheva Manoilava Vetter, summa cum laude. Close?
Yeah.
Benjamin John Volich. Lauren Hope Walters, magna cum laude. Ashton Tate Winter. Jackson Paul Wunderlich, summa cum laude. Johanna Lynn Yang, cum laude. Sophie Kate Yoakum, magna cum laude. Serena Christy Zachariah. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Wichita Collegiate's graduating class of 2021. Please stand. As they say.
Thank you, students. Please be seated. Well, good morning, everyone. Students, parents, faculty, and guests. I am honored to be the head of school at Wichita Collegiate, and it is my pleasure to be able to present this charge to our graduates today. I want to thank all of our student speakers today, who again made me very proud to be the head of school, as they showed they were all very worthy. I don't know who asked a better British accent than me to speak today, but thank you all to our parent speakers as well. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all the faculty and staff on behalf of a grateful administration who made today possible, and from a grateful school, we say thank you. Let's go. To Mr. Chris Ashbrook, a special thank you for 13 years of humility, compassion, and decency. Hold on, we're not finished. In leading our upper school, I am excited to get to work with you in your new role of serving this school. Here at your last graduation, as our upper school head, we need to remove this Midwest reservedness, and if anyone needs a standing ovation, it is Mr. Chris Ashbrook. Let's stand and recognize his 13 years of service as our upper school head. Thank you. When I was looking for a theme for my comments today, there were two words that kept coming back to me. The first was resilience. The second was hope. And I hadn't even read Isabel's speech. Resilience was a simple one. There is no question. You cannot reflect on the past 12 months without thinking of the resilience shown by you all. Hope is a little different, but I think of it when I think of the Good Life paper that I reviewed this spring, by Harun Rafi. I'll get to hope in a little while, but let's talk about resilience first. Maya Angelou is quoted as saying, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." I feel like that was your mantra as a class all year. We had to wear masks, socially distance, Zoom, eat spread out, go without community meetings, and compromise on so many activities, but we were not reduced by it. We had all kinds of protocols to follow in athletics, but we had one of our most successful years in terms of competition in 10 years. In the fine and performing arts, we didn't just participate, we excelled, even while wearing face shields or debating over Zoom or winning awards in photography. When it came to senior weekend, I know many of you did not agree with the restrictions we put into place, but you did not let it reduce you. In fact, based on your feedback, that weekend pulled you together even more as a class, and you had a blast. The mission and vision of our school doesn't just talk about academic excellence, but also states that we prepare you to lead lives of impact. The resilience you have all shown this year will better prepare you for the challenges that lay ahead and for you to lead those lives of impact. You've been tested and you've come out stronger than you were before. We are proud to have you as our graduates, and you fill us all with hope for the future. So let's talk about hope. Harun Rafi referenced in his Good Life paper, the dictionary definition of hope is a desire accompanied by expectation of or belief in fulfillment. Heron went on to state that human beings lack authority over so many things that govern our existence. However, by utilizing hope, we can channel our desires and wants towards the promise of a better existence. Hope is not a component of a good life, but rather functions as a prerequisite to the chance of attaining a good life. We have hoped a lot this year. We've hoped to come out of this pandemic with our school community still intact. We've hoped that as a school we could still provide a meaningful educational experience despite the restrictions of a pandemic. And I'm sure you as a class hope to have a more normal senior year than certainly the class of 2020 did. You hope that the college admissions process would not be adversely affected. You hoped that you would participate in the senior traditions of Collegiate, including pushing Mr. Ashbrook down the slip and slide, and then going down the slip and slide together as a group. Without hope, I would never have left Warrington, England, or decided later to move halfway across the country to this place called Wichita. Without hope, none of us would have probably left our Zoom screens this year. But we did. And it was because we hoped it would be okay, and we knew is what we needed to do. Hope is what is driving you all now into the next step of your lives. You go into that step full of hope that is fueled by the support of your friends, your family, your teachers, your school, and your community. That is a very powerful amount of hope. I hope I have for all of you in this class is that at some point today you make sure you take a step back and think about all the people who've helped you on your journey. Your family members, your coaches and teachers, your friends, and of course, your proud parents. So at this point, I'd like to continue another tradition at Collegiate, but I'm going to continue to put my own little twist on it that I started last year. I'd like to ask all our seniors to stand, to pick out your parents in the audience. And now in the past, I think Mr. Davis asked you to mouth a thank you. But we're outside in a stadium and I think we need to shout it at the top of our lungs. So are you guys okay with that? So let's stand. I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1, and then on 1, I want you to really make it like, a little bit like Mr. Swan before about Ghost Bands, and say thank you to your parents. 3, 2, 1. Thank you! Thank you. Please sit down. So, class of 2021, we are so proud of you. And on behalf of a grateful school, congratulations. Good luck. Continue to be your resilient selves and be hopeful for what you're going to do to make an impact in this world. Thank you. We have one more thing to do after the benediction. The benediction, I'd like to invite Mrs. Jill Ramsey to lead us in our benediction.
Good morning. I am Jill Ramsey, wife to Jeff Ramsey and mother, excuse me, to Emily, class of 2016, and Grant, class of 2021, and lifer here at Wichita Collegiate. We've been blessed over the past 15 years with being a part of a community that has a sense of family. The memories and friendships we have made have been invaluable, and Collegiate has been the best place to prepare our children and college for life. As we wrap up this morning, I too want to commend this exceptional group of young men and women. And I would like to leave you all with this blessing. We ask now for your almighty hand to be upon our graduates as they and their families celebrate this grand milestone. May they find comfort from our community's continued embrace and support as they journey through life. Bless their lives from this day on with goodness and success. So graduates, go out into the world and continue to prove yourself worthy. Thank you.
Okay, class of 2021. We have one last thing to do. Parents, you may want to get your phone cameras ready. In a few seconds, you get to throw your caps in the air, but let's make it formal. I'm going to ask you to stand and then count down to the throw so that hopefully we can get everyone's cap in the air at the same time. Class of 2021, please stand. I'll say a sentence, then I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, go, and on go, let's throw our caps. Maybe keep your eye on it to see where it goes, because it's a little windy out here. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduated class of 2021. 3, 2, 1, go! Now you gotta find them. Thank you for everyone's attendance today. We will now recess. He's got there? Come on.